Hey, what's good, everybody? Y'all know what time it is, right? It is time to focus, LBK. This is Robert Jenkins coming to you with episode 37 of the Focus LBK show. As usual, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. We're going to talk about something interesting toward the end of the story. Where everybody noticed this inflation. I'm sure everybody notices that, right? If you don't notice inflation, you must not be out moving and grooving and trying to shop. Because if you are, then you've no doubt noticed things is high. The question is, why are things high? Well, we're going to get into that later on in the show. But before we get started, as usual, we're going to talk about what's going on. Now, y'all know Juneteenth coming up. And as I say, first and foremost, we plan on doing some photography sessions during the Juneteenth holiday time frame. We still nailing everything down, man. But nonetheless, y'all stand by for that because we think it's going to be some good stuff. We're going to be producing some dope photos and some dope little photography sessions going on. I don't want to read everything. I got this Juneteenth calendar flyer. I think Ricky Sherfield produced it. He's the one sharing it. He probably produced it too. Yeah, matter of fact, I think it says Real Deal Designs right on it. So you know that's Mr. Sherfield. Anyway, his little Juneteenth calendar here is very helpful. I'm not going to read everything on it because it is a ton of things going on. But what I am going to do is kind of highlight some things. Got, well, you got all kind of good stuff going on. The pre-Father's Day book tasting brunch, 10 to 12 at Patterson Library on June 8th. So that's actually because, you know, Juneteenth and Father's Day are so close in temporal proximity. Yeah, let's see. Sunday, June 9th, Savoring Success, the Juneteenth Luncheon, 2 p.m., Broadway Fish and More. I ain't never been to Broadway Fish and More. I think that's, no, that's that one, used to be Church's Chicken, I think, over there on, on Broadway. Over there across the street from Quitco. Well, is it still called Quitco? Yeah, over there across the street from Quitco. I ain't tried them out, but I've heard they good. I might check them out. Let's see what else. Well, Monday, June 10th, the official celebration kickoff press and media day, 1:30 to 3:30 at Patterson Library. So, of course, you know, Patterson Library, as always, is going to be in the thick of things. Friday, June 14th, they got the Juneteenth paint soiree, 6 to 9 p.m. at the Cavill Museum. Let's see what else looks cool. Everything actually looks cool on here. I hate to pick and choose like that, but there's so many good things going on. Just look down at the show notes. That's what the easiest way to do it. Thursday, June 13th, they're going to have a Juneteenth open mic night, 5 to 7 at Patterson Library. I think I'm going to try to do something on that one, man. I ain't had a chance to get on the mic since, what was that? Black History Month? Since February. At least not in public, so I think I better get on that mic. You know what I'm saying? I might have to go to that. 5 to 7 at Patterson Library, Juneteenth open mic night. What else? Oh, yeah, that Monday, June 17th, the Juneteenth Jamboree game night at Patterson, 5:30 to 8. I said, anybody out there, they got a few events that I think I might can whoop somebody's head in. So I'm just putting out the call, man. Anybody want to jump on some of them games with me, man? We'll try to be there. Be there or be square, as we always say. But yeah, take a look down here below and you'll see that big colorful Juneteenth flyer. It's a Real Deal design. It's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It got about 12 or more events on it. Just all going out down Juneteenth. So don't say that you didn't know about it, because we putting the word out right now, along with Mr. Ricky Sherfield and all them cats, his team. Now, moving on, El Roby. You know, El Roby, run by Mr. Reggie Dow. He has a flyer out that says, learn a skill that will pay the bills. We are accepting applications at this time. Go to our website and get started on a pathway to success. It's www.lroby806.org. Not just a job, but a career hashtag. I don't be doing too many hashtags, but that's what it says. It's www.lroby806.org, lroby806.org. Earn while you learn. They're talking about Looks like they're going to be training you in electrical, HVAC, plumbing, pipe fitting, and sheet metal. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's a 6-week pre-apprenticeship program that teaches you skilled trades such as electrical, HVAC, plumbing, all those things I just mentioned. And you'll receive classroom training as well as a paid job training. Also, financial literacy and career readiness classes will be provided. Now, that right there is invaluable. Mr. Reggie Dial be doing some dope stuff, man. Him and them 100 black men of West Texas. So yeah, this El Roby, man, that is such a good, college is not for everybody. And, they try to make it look like you need to go to college nowadays. That's what they push the most. And if that's for you, that's fine, but it ain't for everybody. And the truth is, you are going to almost certainly incur quite a bit of debt if you go to college. Meanwhile, you could be going to trade school and be immediately start working and earning money instead of paying money. Well, there's a big debate about that. It's not being anti-intellectual to talk about it, but sometimes, honestly, nowadays, I'm not sure how much sense college makes. And in fact, if I had it to do all over again, I'm not sure what I would do. I'm thinking about going back to school, but the truth is, you just, you never know how things are going to work out. And, you getting into $100,000 worth of debt to go to school, or you could be learning a skill that will pay the bills. So anyway, check out that El Roby Earn While You Learn. That's www.elroby806. That's ELROBI, elroby806.org. Check them out. Now, another thing that's going on at Patterson Library is the Left to Right book club. Lovely wife is enjoying that. She actually read this book, and that's good, man. More people need to read, and I'm glad to see lovely wife read, and I'm glad to see apparently there's a pretty good little crew. From what I understand, they want more men, though, to come to this Left to Right book club. So it says, grab your father, brother, sister, or friend and join us as we discuss Cry Like a Man. I don't know what you're talking about. Men don't cry. Cry on the inside. No, just playing. Men do cry. You know what I'm saying? It's unhealthy if you don't cry, I think. Sometimes you just need to let it out. But if you're going to let it out, you better cry like a man. Not like a man, but a man. That's what my grandpa used to say. So pick up a copy at Patterson Branch Library. But check it out. It's an 18-plus event. And Saturday, May 25th is when they're going to be getting together. That's next Saturday. And y'all know exactly where the Patterson Library is. But if you don't, it's at 1836 Parkway Drive. That's 806-767-3300. They're also having a pre-Father's Day book tasting brunch with specialist/food fanatic chef Ron Hollins with U.S. Food at Patterson Branch Library. Patterson, as always, getting it in. Fathers, men, and brothers are invited to come out and experience the encouragement and love for reading through fellowship. So it's a pre-Father's Day book tasting brunch. All I know is they got a picture of some pancakes on this flyer, and they got me thinking, I ain't had no pancakes in, I don't remember the last time I had pancakes. You know what I'm saying? I don't usually eat breakfast. But wow, that just, man, I might go just for the pancakes. I'm going to take Mr. Nugent, man. We're gonna roll up there, shoot. June 8th, 2024, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., the pre-Father's Day book tasting brunch. I say June 8th, 2024, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., pre-Father's Day book tasting brunch with Chef Ron Hollins. Another brother that's, if I'm not mistaken, is a member of the 100 Black Men of West Texas. Man, that is I'm slowly becoming, I guess attached to this organization, slowly becoming familiar with their works and the things they do. And they seem pretty good. These 100 brothers, 100 Black Men of West Texas. Here's something else that's GEC presents Shark Tank Week. Now this right here, I would love to go to this myself. It says, learn how to craft a business and have fun while doing it. Open to students entering the 8th to 12th grade. This workshop offers expert workshops, personalized coaching, support to launch your business. Basically, it's help you launch a photography business, but there's a whole calendar of stuff that goes on. You can register at guidanceoutreach@gmail.com. That's E Outreach, Geo, Guidance E Outreach at gmail.com. That's where you register at. The dates for this Shark Tank week are going to be June 3rd through June 7th, 8:30 to 1:30 at the Texas Tech University Innovation Hub. Basically, it's teaching you how to launch a photography business, is what it sounds like, or launch a business. And it seemed like I saw on some more details about it. It seemed like it was talking more about photography, but man, you're gonna get a laptop computer. It says students receive laptop computer. I don't know if they're gonna give you a laptop or they gonna let you use one. But space is limited. I know that. Talking about students receive a laptop, computer, t-shirt, snacks, personal business mentor. Yeah, I need all that. I need a laptop, t-shirt, snacks, personal business mentor. But it does say 8th to 12th. Students entering the 8th grade to the 12th grade. I'm slightly outside of those parameters age-wise. You know what I'm saying? Lubbock, Texas. LBK, Lubbock, Texas, USA. It is a ton of stuff going on. Got Juneteenth coming up. Got all kind of good stuff. And we also have that Cap Rock Jazz Festival coming up. That's right. The Cap Rock Jazz Festival is happening July 13th, 2024. It's going to be at the Texas Tech Museum, Helen DeWitt Jones Auditorium over there at 3301 4th Street. It's 5 p.m. dinner and concert. $100. 7 p.m. The concert itself is $75. A table is $700. And you can get in touch with the crew, Mrs. Green and her crew at 806-535-2475. Or you can go to www.caprockjazz.org. That's caprockjazz.org. In attendance, music guests will be featured, including Rebecca Jade, who is a vocalist, Tom Braxton, who is a saxophonist, and Roberto Pertuccia. He's a guitarist. You can get them tickets at selecttheseat.com. But yeah, we got the Cap Rock Jazz Festival again. That's July 13th, 2024. Rebecca Jade, vocalist, Tom Braxton, saxophonist, and Roberto Petruccia, guitarist. Happening over there on 4th Street, put on by the Roots Historical Arts Council. That's going to be July 13th, 2024. You better be there, because I'm telling you, we went to the last one last year, last Christmas, man. It was dope. I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all be sleeping on Roots Historical Arts Council productions, but they be coming through. Really, man, that's all I got as far as what's going on. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to turn our attention to some kind of some current events here. Some current events. Now, if you have been to the store, then you have no doubt seen that prices are ridiculous. And it's inflation. And they'll try to tell you all kind of stuff about what inflation is and all that and this and that and the other. I got this meme right here. If you look, what causes inflation is what we're going to be talking about here. It's a pretty funny meme. For those of y'all listening, it's a picture of it says, what inflation? A package of ground beef costs the same as it did last month. But if you look at the picture, the package of ground beef is like the size of your fingernails. Like somebody holding a little tiny half-inch by half-inch pack of ground beef. I can't do it justice. You got to take a look at it. But the question is, the point is, if you've been shopping lately over the last several years, you've noticed the prices have just gotten worse and worse. Well, on TV, they never explain that. And what they try to do, they try to be slick about it and make it look like it's just greedy business people. Well, it's not greedy business people. The causes of inflation are pretty simple, actually. The Federal Reserve prints money out of nothing. And they do that because politicians like to spend money. They like to give you money for free. They like to start wars, which cost tons of money. They like to give to all they favorite people that help them get elected and stuff. They constantly handing out favors and handing out things that cost money. Well, they can do this because the Federal Reserve prints money out of nothing. It just takes a bank account and it just puts money in it. Bling, it's an electronic transaction. There was no real money. Money is gold. You know what I'm saying? Or silver. It's got to be some kind of hard asset that backs your money. And if you don't have something that backs your money and you just print money willy-nilly, like tell the whole nation that everybody got to stay home because of a alleged pandemic, and don't worry about it, we'll send you little stimulus checks. Well, yeah, you could do that, and yeah, it might help you get reelected because you sent people a bunch of money. But guess what? The sneaky tax that comes from that kind of spending and giving away free money and spending all that money created out of nothing, that is inflation. Inflation is a hidden tax that eats away your savings and eats away at your cost of, at your not your cost of living, but your standard of living. So I got a video down here. There's a gentleman named G. Edward Griffin, and he explains what causes inflation. If you click on that video, he'll basically kind of touch on it. He wrote a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I was talking with that brother Ricky Gaines this past Saturday. We was talking about inflation, and my grandma used to tell me when I was a kid how little things cost when she was a kid. So back in the 30s, she would say you could get a whole 10-pound bag of a 25-pound bag of beans, or a 10-pound bag of beans or something for $1, and you can get this for $1, or you get this for 25 cents, or you can get a pound of coffee for 25 cents. Now you get a box of coffee costs $10. You know what I'm saying? And you wonder why. I used to wonder, why did those prices go up like that? And I started doing quite a bit of research on it back in the day, and what I discovered was this book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's a big, thick book, but it's very good. It's very readable. And in it, he explains all about the shady, secret, underhanded creation of the Federal Reserve, including a fake constitutional amendment that was never passed properly, but it was just ratified like it was passed properly. Secret meetings down in Jekyll Island, Georgia, by prominent businessmen and senators, completely meeting in secret, literally sitting in a smoke-filled room, coming up with this Federal Reserve Act to create a bank that's not federal and doesn't have any reserves. Anyway, anytime you print money in the absence of people actually working and increasing the amount of things that they produce, if people are just working the same and not producing more, but you print more money than things are that are being produced, you're going to cause inflation. If you shut the whole economy down, of course, when things are hardly being produced at all and you just print money willy-nilly, then you get what we have today, which is really, looks like it's getting into stagflation. Wages and everything is stagnant, but inflation is going up. So times is getting hard. Check this video out right here. It's ludicrous. The Fed is fighting inflation when they created the monster, says the author of The Creature from Jekyll Island. Check that video out. If you want, man, go to Amazon, get you the hard copy of that Creature from Jekyll Island. It's a great book, man. Read it, listen to it, whatever you do. But stay tuned, because later on this week, I'm going to publish an article that shows you one thing you can do to kind of get ahead of inflation a little bit. And what it is, it's an article about how to store dry goods like beans and rice and stuff like that. And there's one simple way that you can alleviate inflation, because when you buy food at today's prices and you store it for a year or two or more, when you break it out to make some rice or some beans or some pasta or whatever the case may be, although I've never tried pasta, I'll just say beans and rice for now. But when you break that food out, you eat food that was purchased at prices that were prevalent 2 or 3 years ago. So we have some storage food. We stored some beans and rice back in 2020, right at the beginning of the COVID operation. And man, we're eating it right now. And as you eat it, you constantly make new storage supplies. You constantly store new beans and rice is what we primarily have. But the point I'm getting at, Lubbock, is inflation is a hidden tax that is created by central banks and politicians who love to promise things, and central banks who love to promise things because they like to give you that money. It's addictive. It's like a drug. You get this so-called free money, but it ain't free. I was thinking about how to explain inflation, like what it is. Imagine you have a pizza and you got 4 adults, right, in a room, and you got one large pizza, and generally speaking, you have a large pizza that's cut into 8 slices, and generally those 8 slices are pretty sufficient for 4 adults. Because everybody gets 2 pieces, and the 2 pieces of pizza is a pretty good meal. That'll hold you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can be greedy and get that third one. You can be real greedy and get that fourth one. But honestly, 2 pieces of pizza will hold you. Right? Now, what if 4 more adults walk in? So now you got 8 people and you only got that 1 pizza. Well, in order to make sure that everybody gets the same amount of pizza, you would have to make another pizza, right? But what if you don't make another pizza? What if you just take that 1 large pizza and cut it 4 more times? Now you got 16 pieces, and you give everybody 2 pieces, and you say, well, you got 16 pieces, everybody's good. Well, you know the size of those pieces is going to be much smaller because you're actually cutting the existing pieces in half. Well, that's kind of like what inflation is when they print money without making new goods and services increase with the money supply. It's kind of like cutting a pizza 8 times, then 8 more times. You ain't increasing. Yeah, you're increasing the amount of pizza, but you're decreasing the size of each slice. And what it's just like when you print money and people aren't working harder and producing goods and services to keep up with that amount of money that you're printing, you're actually lowering the price of each dollar. Yes, there's more dollars floating around, but each one, the value is cut. Just like them slices of pizza getting thinner every time you cut that same pizza over and over again. You should have just made another pizza. You should have just let people work harder and make more stuff, and then you increase the money supply to go with it. You won't get inflation. In fact, if you don't increase the money supply to go with it, you'll get deflation. Prices should be going down slowly. In fact, I was reading, it might have been The Creature from Jekyll Island, it might have been another book, but he was explaining how after the Revolutionary War, after they paid off the debt from that war, from that point on up until the Civil War, I think they were saying, prices actually slowly decreased every year. So in other words, you had a slowly increasing quality of life. It was slowly getting better over time instead of like now rapidly getting worse because they weren't printing money. Now the central banks are printing money and people aren't working harder to keep up with that amount of money that they're printing. So the value of each dollar is getting thinner and thinner, just like them little slices of pizza getting smaller and smaller the more you cut that pizza up. Talking about you making more pizza. You ain't making more pizza. You just destroying the value of each slice or the size of each slice, or in other words, the value of each dollar. Anyway, that's, that was me trying to figure out a way to understand this, and that's kind of helped me understand inflation. But anyway, y'all stay tuned because like I say, later on this week, we're going to release that article. It's going to have pictures and everything. It's going to be a step-by-step guide on how to store some beans and rice, something that my family believes strongly in. And again, this ain't no crazy stuff. This ain't no crazy apocalyptic white boy type of. This is Grandma Dorothy, good old Grandma Dorothy from Bryan, Texas, storing food. This is where I get this from. But anyway, Lubbock, good talking to y'all again. We got a good week coming up here. It is I was gonna say it's Mother's Day, but it's actually my wife's day, her birthday, coming up this week. So I'm gonna have a good time with that. The whole Jenkins clan is. I hope y'all have a good time with whatever y'all got to do this week. Hope y'all get out and move around, go out and about, spend time with your family, friends, bust your butt at work, because that's always good to do. Work hard and then play hard. You know what I'm saying? Meantime, we'll be here with some articles this week like we always are. Look like we're going to have an opportunity to get some good pictures in too, man. So y'all stay tuned. Y'all take it easy. Y'all be blessed and have a good week. And with that, I'm going to say peace.